up. There's song lyrics in the seats. Do you want to come and sing? Yeah, come on. Oh, I need the words. No, I gave away all my words. Oh, she gave away all her lyrics. I gave away all my lyrics. I don't want to go without her. Okay. All right. Here we go. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun. I say it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun. I say it's alright. Little darling, the smiles returning to your faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun. I say it's alright. Sun, 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 here it comes. Sun, 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 here it comes. Let's just go on. Okay. Little darling, I feel where ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun. I say it's alright. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun. I say it's alright. It's alright.
Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. All right. Whoopsie.
Everybody's phone off, please?
All right. So we've greeted each other. We've said hello. We've had our statement of intent. Greetings, everybody. Welcome again. We have a lovely day in store for us today. The next thing we have to do is some announcements. Let's get some announcements out of the way. All right. So Carolyn has a bunch of announcements for us, I'm sure.
Well, I'm going to remind you, sing and share. Two kinds of share, one kind of sing. Sing all the time, threading through. And this is the first time we've had an extra piano player besides Barb, so that frees her up to stand up here with us. We are a work in process, and it's so beautiful. Thank you for all of us being on this ride together. And we are also going to have two kinds of share. And pretty soon Barb's going to do the channeling with our family and spirit and whoever gathers there, and bring that through for us as we do once a month. And then the other part of the share is going to be any of you, just 3 or 4, it's not going to be an endless amount of time for short shares on the subject. What was your opening to the metaphysical world? The metaphysical understanding of how life works, which is very different than what we were taught as little kids. If you couldn't see it, feel it, taste it, it didn't exist. So we're gonna have a few weeks of sharing on that subject, and we started a month ago, and it's a lovely way for us to share with each other a little bit of our personal stories. So we're gonna have a wonderful time.
Okay. Just a quick couple housekeeping things. Make sure you put your phones on mute or do not disturb. We do have a suggestion box, but also you can talk to anybody on the board, or you can, Carol's email, she will get it that way and spread it to the rest of us. And voicemail or any other way you want to contact us. And next week, who is speaking next week, Carolyn? Carolyn is speaking next week. Okay. Yeah, all right. So then also, you can always check out our website, our Facebook page. We always try to keep our Facebook page updated. And also, if you've missed out on any of our services, check out YouTube. Now, granted, we will take a few days from today to put today's service on, but we do record our services, and you can view them at your leisure after a few days after putting it up. Just a quick note, the Unity Book Club is on hiatus for a while. We will let you, oh, yes, ma'am. Oh, Monday evenings, okay. Okay, March 20th, 6 o'clock at the church and on Zoom? Okay, so that's our future date. We've got about a month or so to get ready for that. They haven't picked out a book yet? No. So we'll keep you updated. That's right. Next week, last week, not tomorrow, but the week after, Monday, we were going to have, Denise had our tea and conversation group. It went very well this last Monday. They had a wonderful time, and people who were there just, I've heard a lot of good things about it. So tea and conversation, and Denise, do you want to talk a little bit about it? You can just say that we did. Get up here, my girl.
Yes, last Monday was our first reuniting of the Tea and Conversation Group, which started years ago before COVID. It was at 10:30. No, it was at 10 o'clock. And we talked amongst us, and we decided to change it to an 11 o'clock start. It made it a little easier for a couple of the people who are interested in getting there on time. And it didn't make any difference to the rest of us. So the start time from now on will be 11 o'clock, and it's always the first and the third Monday, and it's here downstairs. Right now, our subject, we're working on a Gaia workshop, and it is on channeling. And a lot of us were very curious, and we wanted to kind of demystify it and get a better understanding, and it's been amazing. We watched 2 episodes Monday. They're short, they're about just under a half an hour. So we watch one, we discuss, we watch another one, we discuss, and that's the way it goes. Mark?
Can guys come to Gaia?
We had a guy. It has nothing to do with gender at all. Michael Anderson was there.
Awesome, thank you, Denise. All right, now, at this moment, I'd like to ask if anyone has any prayer requests. I have a request, and I think a couple of other people in this community will join me in this request. We want to pray for Kathleen Juneau today. She's been under the weather for a week now and doesn't quite know what's going on, and she's rallying, but she's been under the weather, and we want to make sure that we get her back to full strength and full health. So please keep her in your prayers while we're doing today's service, and sing your hearts out for her today. And if you have not already done so and you want to put a prayer request in the bowl, that is great. Would somebody like to bring the bowl forward? Thank you, Denise. And if you haven't done so physically, you can also do so mentally and emotionally, and we will pray for it throughout the course of today. Carol.
I have a prayer request for our friend Virginia Hurley. She's just not feeling good and headache and whatever. I was going to pick her up today, and she said, I'm staying home. So hopefully next week. So, no, next week I won't be here. I have to work.
Oh,
We need a musician. Jean, would you like to play the piano? I'm just,
Prayers answered.
well, you know, you just do it. You know what I mean? Thank you.
Can I play whatever I want?
Yeah. Prayers answered. All right. So at this point, we've got all kinds of other prayers and people that we want to think about and lift up in our prayers. And, oh, one more. Oh, Ukraine, definitely. And Turkey and Syria, yeah, Turkey and Syria, right? Yeah, on the three board. What's that? Yeah, indeed. So at this time, with the prayers in the bowl and the prayers in our hearts, let us take a moment of silence to think about what the highest good for all of these places and people. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
I do have another announcement.
Oh, yes. Okay. Come on up, Jean.
I found out where Audrey Fisher's living.
Oh.
And she's at the Beehive, which is on Trinity. And Jill and I went over there yesterday, and she should be on the prayer list because Audrey is sick. I mean, she's just got the flu, so we didn't get a chance to see her. But when Jill and I walked into the building and said we wanted to see her, they were so excited. They could hardly stand it. I don't think Audrey has any visitors, really.
So Audrey's at
Other than her
family?
her family, yeah.
Audrey's
She's
at
at the Beehive.
Beehive.
It's a memory care unit.
Where is that?
It's on Trinity, right past
Keystone?
Home Depot.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's right after Home Depot on Trinity. I think it's probably the first one. It's kind of hard to see. It's back a little ways, but
Okay.
it's a brown building with a big overhang.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It's between that Mall Drive and Anderson Road there.
Yeah.
Oh, but between Mall Drive and Anderson Road
Yeah.
on the,
It'd be on the left-hand side if you're going
if you're going
there.
to, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody keep Audrey in your prayers as well. All right. And since we do come together every week to celebrate life, to nourish our spirits, and to enjoy the company of kindred souls, don't forget to enjoy the company of kindred souls and to nourish yourself with our little snacky poo after our service. It is our communion, so enjoy what people have brought as our weekly potluck and to be in communion with each other. So let's move on. It's time to sing again?
Yes, it's time to sing again.
All right. So, what song are we singing?
Let me
Okay.
take the reins to say, we're going to sing Prayer for Protection, 82, which is a beautiful song, Wings of Song, 82, for all those people that we just prayed for. Yeah. think I'm on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I left it. Yes.
Okay. Before we do the channel, I would just like to introduce officially my friend who I brought here joyfully, Deborah Dallin. She's a very talented singer and player, and I just know her and I know us, and I knew it would be a really good fit that way too. So she has a daughter who lives here in Duluth, so she's here, can be here sometimes if need be, maybe. We'll see what happens. But and as far as the sing-along, like you said, this is a works in progress. So we make a plan and we don't have any modicum of following it, which is great, because that's my middle name, is no plan. And but if you have a song you want to sing along to in the second Sunday service, you can email me at barbwith, W-I-T-H, B-A-R-W-I-T-H, B-I-R-B-W-I-T-H. And the process, the very scientific process, is I bring it to the board, and it's yay or nay. And there's no judgment, or it's kind of just how we feel about it. It's like we loved singing Hallelujah, but we had to say no to it. And just for other reasons that are important, and we can move on. There's a million songs in the world. And if we're going to do this for a year or more, then we need more songs and more songs. So if you have ideas, send them to me, or anybody, and they'll get them to me. Okay? Let's prepare for the meditation by sitting comfortably. Start to pay attention to your breathing. And as you take your breath inward, feel our ancestors breathing next to us. And even though there's still a veil, there is no veil. Because a part of us lives eternally in the non-physical. We are already in heaven. We are already in afterlife, but we have been blessed with these bodies. And so each breath is the breath of life. Each breath in, we inhale all of the goodness, all of the power of compassion. And as we exhale all of the conflicts, all of the fears, all of the abscessed emotions. And as we breathe in, we pay attention to our thinking. And as we breathe out, we make sure to quiet our minds from all chatter. And as we breathe in, we allow our hearts to open so that we can clearly hear our intuitive calling. Every breath, our intuition impels us to take a step for the good of the whole. And that step, at its most root level, is your breath. And we will command that only the most divine light shine down upon you at this time, and that only the greatest good be present here. Good morning. We are so joyful to be welcomed to the circle, to have our voice, to give us a regular voice before you connects the generations through life and afterlife. And by doing this, we are birthing the new earth. We are here. We're not in our 9-month process of preparing. We are here. We have been birthed. And we are here to tell you that even those of us in afterlife, without our physical focus, are here with you, and we too are being birthed. We understand that might be a difficult concept to grasp at first because you think, well, you're dead. And what are you talking about? Are you going to come back in a reincarnation to be birthed as a human? No. We're saying that the energy of the non-physical, eternal part of you is a direct root of the physical part of you. The physical part of you is a reflection of this eternal I am that you are. And so if the physical part of you is here to learn and grow, and if the physical part of you can go through such suffering and confusion and torment and come out the other side, this new human, then so do we. Even us in afterlife, without our bodies now, are growing and learning and evolving and taking in an even more unified course of our energy. And we can say to you, it's a lot different and quite a bit easier when you're in afterlife to process other lives that you've lived. It's much easier. It's still a process that we go through. It's just not like you are. Because what you're doing right now, you who are volunteered and were chosen to be here with the bodies, what you're doing is having to align those physical bodies out of centuries, lifetimes of cultural programming. We don't have to do that. It's a different process of bringing all that energy in, and we're doing it though. And when you get here, we'll show you how to do it too. But for now, we want to reflect back to you how you can really optimize this space that you have, not just this real space, this building, this sturdy little church that has gone on through generations, but you as individuals who have come here individually to be the change. And so the first order of business for this sturdy little church would be for every single individual within this church to make that commitment that first and foremost, you yourself in your life that you've been given, what you're experiencing, that you are going to be that change. Then, when all of you turn inward and self-love and learn to self-love and learn what your triggers are and learn where your power is, experimenting as you go through life, because every day will give you an opportunity, doesn't it? Even the most glorious days are filled with opportunities to learn how to deal with conflict and how to be more loving. And if that is all you did, that would be a gracious plenty. But that's not all you're going to do. Because this synergy that you're creating by not projecting onto each other, by not acting out in a individualized form of war, because you are going to be that peacemaker. Now imagine if the United States and the Ukraine and Russia and Poland and the UK and Venezuela, all those leaders came here to this room and said, what should we do for the world? What would we all say? Look at yourselves first. Go back. When you think Russia's the enemy, you go back and look at what you're doing. If you think that the UK is terrible, then you go back and look at what you're doing. And if each country did that, think how different the world would be. Now we know they're not going to. It's not going to happen like that. It's going to come from the ground up. And it's starting right here in these places that are real live community gathering places. It's good you have Zoom. It's good you have emails. But these in-person gatherings are so vital to the rebirth of humanity. Use those things that were vital lifelines when you needed them, but do as much as you can to be in person with each other, to bring new people in, to go out into the community in ways that are joyful and inviting. And for your domain here in this sturdy little church, make it a place where you are fully aware that you are new humans. And everyone else is too, because when you walk through the doors, it's the truth. You don't have to sell it. You don't have to explain it. You walk through the door and people, they take a gasp at this energy. And you know the generations that are sitting here. And you have to know, we're here 24/7, even when you're not here. We are here, sitting here, holding this space. Because, you know, the funny thing about that, there's nowhere really to go. We are here, holding you, guiding you, advising you, but you are the leaders. Right now, you're the leaders. So, one person at a time, step up, lead, and watch, and be very much amazed. Namaste. Would anyone like to share? Yes, come. I'm gonna sit down.
Okay, Jerry and I got married in '61, and in 1964, we went to California. And prior to that, Jerry's brother, Jim, who was about 6 years younger than we were, had been involved in Bismarck, North Dakota with a woman who read all of Edgar Casey's material. So I started reading Edgar Casey when I was in California, and so much happened in California with Edgar Casey, and so we ended up going to an Edgar Casey national meeting in Arizona once, and we're introduced to Casey's son, who was living at the time, and all of the Casey healers and psychics, and so we became familiar with all of the material of psychic healing and everything that Edgar Casey did. He channeled all the time, all the channelings, and so it went into our psychic, and I just believed it 100%. There was never any doubt in my mind that what he was presenting and coming forth wasn't true, because it was so, and it was a wonderful time to be introduced to Casey.
Let me take you back to when I was in probably 7th grade. And I grew up in a Lutheran school, Lutheran family. And a friend of mine was able to go out to a small town where his grandparents lived for the summer, and he invited me along. And we spent an entire day and night on our own, out roaming around town, nothing to do, but we didn't mind. You know, took a nap in the sun. Later on, we took a nap in the laundromat because that was the only place open, and it was getting colder that night, right? So we were a little strange, but we were happy to be free totally and just, you know, do whatever we wanted to do. And that morning, we got out and walked along the river and sat there on the edge of the river. There was a road and some kind of pedestal that we get up on and sit there. And it was a little foggy, and I don't know exactly, you know, how it happened, but I remember strongly sitting there, and there were about 3 or 4 of us, so we weren't all quiet or anything, but I sort of drifted into this state that was sort of like this white light state, you know, where everything was, I'm sure the fog helped, but it wasn't that thick. And so I went to this place where I could detach from everything in a way, and I started to see everything as just the perfect expression of what was. I could just sense this ideal of perfection, and there was no, no guilt, no shame, just being there on our own and being free just led me there, and that kind of sponsored my search after that point in time. It was such a profound experience that I'll always remember. Just being in that state, I don't even know how to describe it to you, but it made an impact, and so it kind of started my searching, and Edgar Casey was one of the first things I ran into later on as I went to high school and met up with different people, so followed that thread too. Yeah.
So when I was in high school, I started going to see my friend Mike's mom. And we didn't call it anything. And we just said, "Look, somebody came up to me, you got to come and see Mike's mom, Eunice, who was a channel." So I started getting channelings when I was 17. That was back even before there were like those cassette recorders that you had to bring someone to take notes with you. And so for 10 years I had readings with her, and I would take the notes and then I would write down what I thought it was going to mean. Like, oh, she talked about me traveling the world, teaching and training, and concerts that I was playing, and I would, oh my God, I'd write it all down. And then I would see what really happened. And then I'd go have another reading. And so I could kind of gauge between what did I think it meant, what did it really happen, and how do you come between the middle of that. But Edgar Casey and Jane Roberts, I was a huge Seth Speaks person too. And then in 1987, I started automatic writing. I was writing a letter and off went so I knew what it was, but it was really surprising. And then a year later I said, oh, you gotta speak. It was scary. It's scary to speak when you channel. It's different when you're writing. And then you have to open your mouth and hear it. But I did it, and it was so amazing. The group was just bowled over, and so anyway, I just wanted to share that because you were talking about watching Gaia and the channeling, and anything. I'd be happy to, teach us too if we want to do that. Anyway, that's me.
I had a thing happen to me 2 years ago when I was with a friend of mine here at church, and we talked about our Native American times on earth. But I sat in the front pew here. He started drumming with his drum, and I left my body, and I went out into the universe. And when I was out there, I saw 6 stars. And it was beautiful. I went inside the 6 stars. And the words can't come close to the energy I felt of the universe inside the 6 stars. And I stayed there for a while. And then I came back into my body. But it was the first time I'd ever been out into the universe. And since that time, I've had other experiences with going out into the universe. And it was a couple months ago that when I was in church here, I felt an energy like a V come, and it was Reverend Hutchinson, who'd been the pastor here in 1989. And he came to me, and the energy I felt with the universe was so fantastic that words can't really catch it. But that universe is our home. And what I figured out is that's where we get to go. We go out there with the spirits of the universe. God and Holy Spirit, that's our home. And I've had things that have helped me understand that is where we get to go. That's where we come from to come here. And when we're out there, you can't imagine the gigantic energy that's out there for us. It's like a V and fantastic, but it's light, compassion, love, peace, and joy. That's our home. That's where we get to go. But we also get to come here. And we also get to have everything happen to us here to remind us of our home in the universe. Light, compassion, love, peace, and joy. And that's who we are, too. We've always been that. So thank you for being the spirit that you are, have been forever and always. Thank you for coming here to share your light and love and peace and joy, always and forever in this church. Amen, amen, amen.
Does anybody else want to share? Oh, well, let's turn to 238 in the Wings of Song. Truth will lift me. How's that? A great follow-up for Jerry's. Offering time? Sure.
All right, so at this point, can I have somebody bring forth the baskets and we'll do our little offering for the day? Do we have someone to play a little background music for us? Divine love through all of us. Blessings on us, money. May it through us and through divine love blesses and multiplies all that we give, all that we have, all that we receive, and all that we share. Thank you very much. I don't know. Oh well. All right. So at this point, we're singing again.
Is this the end?
Well, we're getting close there.
Okay, I would like to, let's do the affirmations.
All right, the affirmation. Let us sing say the affirmation, the church affirmation on the card. Alrighty, we totally accept the belief that God is in charge of the affairs and direction of Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church. We know that as our thoughts of trust and joyful Members of this fellowship, we attract the right ministerial leadership to our community. And what are we? We are grateful. All right, what song are we singing now? Spirit in the Sky.
It's on your word sheet. I think we need to stand for the song. Everybody have a copy? Just keep vamping until we. We're in process. You ready? Vamp a little more. When I die and they lay me to rest, gonna go to the place that's best. When I lay me down to die, up to the spirit in the sky. Up to the spirit in the sky. When I die and they lay me to rest, gonna go to the place that's the best. Prepare yourself, you know it's a must. Gotta have a friend in Jesus. So you know that when you die, he's gonna recommend you to the spirit in the sky. Spirit in the sky. It's where you're gonna go when you die. When you die and they lay you to rest, gonna go to the place that's the best. Never been a sinner, I've never sinned. I got a friend in Jesus. So you know that when I die, he's gonna set me up with the spirit in the sky. He's gonna set me up with the spirit in the sky. That's where I'm gonna go when I die. When I die and they lay me to rest, I'm gonna go to the place that's the best. Go to the place that's the best. Oh, we forgot our benediction. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As we go forth from here, let's all capture in our hearts and our bodies and our spirits this incredible new energy of joy and love and compassion as we become that change and go forth and be free and joyful.
Amen. Yes, let's get in our circle and sing our closing hymn.
We have a closing hymn, and I think it's on the badge.
Oh, you're right.
Is it on the back of that right?
Okay, come on, you guys.
On the back of that. No. Okay. Yes. And come and join the circle. Okay. But I have to look every time.
Everybody turn your thumbs to the left.
Your thumbs to the left. I'll just.
Yep, every thumb.